Brunello di Montalcino. So many B's in Italian wine, so little time. You got your Barolo, you got your Barbaresco, and you have your Brunello. Brunello di Montalcino, 100% Sangiovese. For those of you taking notes, some of you already know this because you're like smart and stuff, but some of you don't. 100% Sangiovese from one of the great hilltop towns in Tuscany. The wines are classic, but they're recently classic, i.e., there's a long history of growing Sangiovese in Montalcino, but it wasn't until the late 1800s that producers like Biondi Santi started to produce wines that would get acknowledged as top flight wines from this area. Winning, the World's Fair awards and all this sort of deal, starting to put Montalcino on the map. And then a lot of Montalcino wines weren't estate bottled until like even the 60s. Take, for example, today's producer, Tenuta di Sesta. They're one of the original, call them Dirty Dozen, of the Montalcinese producers to estate bottle. And they started estate bottling in 1966. It's a while ago, but it's not that long ago. This isn't like Cistercian monk stuff where they're bottling Clos Vougeot separately 1,000 years ago or whatever the hell. This isn't that case. So Brunello di Montalcino, the wine and the reputation of the wine is a lot newer than people think. And that being said, this is one of the old guard. This is one of the OGs in Montalcino. And they don't get out that much. They're really super quiet. This is the Ciacci family. They've owned the property forever. I'm sure there's some relation to the folks like a Ciacci Piccolomini. There's Ciaccis everywhere in Montalcino, like Smith here. And the thing is, they just make classic wines, right? So do you want your Brunello di Montalcino to taste like the Brunello di Montalcinos made in the 60s and the 70s and 80s? These guys make those wines, and they do it brilliantly. They're in the southern part of Montalcino. Neighbors include, pretty close by is like Argiano, Fanti's close by, Porre La Ripi, who does great, brilliant work, small micro production. And these guys just been doing their thing forever. The point is, there's really nothing fancy here. They're good growers. Everything ages in the traditional Slavonian oak barrels, 30 months. They're not reinventing the wheel. They're just perfecting the original wheel that was produced. So deep. Wow. And in a vintage like 2019, it is a classic Montalcino year, producing classic Montalcino wines. Big red sour cherry character here, tons of fruit, classic structure, brilliant Sangiovese here in that classic style. There's no barriques, there's no bells and whistles in the winery, just straight up beautiful Sangiovese from one of the top growing areas for Montalcino, for Sangiovese in Italy. This stuff's great. It's also, year in and year out, one of the greatest deals in Montalcino. The winery may be stuck in a little bit of a time machine with how they work and how they operate. Great, love it. Their pricing is throwback as well. $35. I don't know of a better value in Montalcino in the 2019 vintage than this wine. Maybe we'll see it later, I don't know. We're about probably 2/3 of the way through the Montalcino releases for 2019, this great vintage. And this is by far the greatest value we've encountered from the vintage. And it's not just us. 95 points Suckling, 94 points from Larner and Wine Advocate. She had tremendous things to say about this wine. And it's warranted. This is the wine when you're in downtown Montalcino and you step into the tasting bar at the little place right there in the hillside town. Like, this is the wine you taste and you go, all right, I'm here. This is that wine at $35, man. Pretty amazing. This is cheaper than a whole lot of Chiantis right now. So 20 boxes, that's not a lot. This will sell out. This should sell out. So I would encourage you to click on the link below, get yours, buy it now, and save yourself the trouble of calling us 3 days later and be like, oh no, I missed it, really? Like, this is one you don't want to miss. Sensational value here. Mm.